Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where we are testing the spawning of our parcel graphics. So we're going to come on in here and once again purchase ourselves this apartment complex. Looks good. We'll knock it down so that we can actually see where our location is. And then we're just going to go ahead and run. Oh wow, look at that. We had 3 packages spawn almost instantly. We had a crate spawn here. It's too high up. We can't really see what it's attached to. So there's that. Now, package has not been sorted. Shipping speed unknown. Origin is, of course, 4665114. Destination unknown. Distance unknown. Then the volume is 0.49. And we should probably have a label on those. Yeah, we should have a label on that. So the volume is in cubic meters, and the weight is in kilograms, and then the destination would be in kilometers, perhaps? Yeah, something like that. So, a couple of issues. They are spawning, and they're doing a reasonable job of it, too. But they're too high to the point where we actually can't mouse over this parcel unless we're up here, which is a little awkward. And I feel like these things should be rounded to 2 decimal places. Oh my. Okay. So yeah, I feel like they should be rounded to 2 decimal places. We should have a what am I thinking? We should have a label for the units on them, and wow, my mind just went completely blank. I'm also looking up how to format to 2 decimal places because I can't remember the syntax for that. Yeah, like that. Okay. So we simply would then put in something along the lines of this. So 0 point number. I can never remember these formats. There we go. No, not $. There we go. Okay, so that's close enough. I mean, it's going to round the number, but only show up to 2 decimal places. So that's fine. And then we're going to want to do the same thing with this format down here in the volume and weight, because we know those already before we have sorted this. And what else are we going to want to do? Well, we're going to want to add in here. And I think rather than concatenating these strings, I want to do string.formats. String.format, and then we'd pass in something along the lines of origin, and then we would have this be 0. And then this would, of course, then be parcel.origin.toString. And then everything out here can be deleted. Excellent. And we're just going to duplicate that to here, like so. And then our destination here is fine, but here it's less fine. So we would do the same thing as we did above. String.format destination 0. And then we just put in parcel.destination.toString. And I do want to check this real fast. Go to the implementation. Oh, come on. Where's my int3? Here it is. ToString. Okay, so yeah, this doesn't work quite like I wanted it to. Now it does. Excellent. Okay, then we'll come on in here, and I'm wondering... Oh. No closing quotation mark there. That was the problem. So then we've got our distance here, which should probably also be in a string.format. And that would simply read distance 0 and then kilometers. And then we would just pass in parcel.distance.toString like so. Excellent. Same thing for the volume, and again, for the distance, we don't need to do it down here. Volume and weight we will, though. So string.format, and then this would be volume. Oh, come on, wait. There we go. I cannot type, as we are well aware. And then we'll do that in cubic meters. We may superscript this later on. I can't remember the markup for that in TextMesh Pro, but we may come back to it later on. And then this would simply be parcel.volume.toString. Excellent. And then the same thing for weight. Equals string.format. And then we pass in weight 0 in kilograms. And then it would be parcel.weight.toString. Excellent. And then we'll copy this right on in here. There we go. No more string concatenation. That's the way I like it. And now we have our labels, and they'll round, and it should just generally look much nicer. Now the other thing we wanted to do was we wanted to make this be lower. We'll try cutting this in half, this height boost that it's got, and we'll see what that feels like. Okay, let's go ahead and run it as soon as it compiles. I think it's done, maybe. No, it's not done. It's still working. There we go. Now it's done. Okay, we got no errors, so we should be good to test this. We'll see how this goes. I am a little surprised that it generated 3 packages basically instantly like that, but I'm okay with it, I guess. For the purposes of the tutorial, we're probably going to want to turn it off and have it generate specific packages, like scripted packages, but it's fine for now. And of course, one thing I should note is that I put down in between episodes in our to-dos that startup time is pretty slow, and we should consider offloading biome and building generation to another thread and otherwise load on demand. So that's something we are going to consider doing later on in the more polishing stage. But for right now, it's fine to run it all on the one thread. We just want to make sure it works before we start doing fancy multi-threading stuff. So we're just going to skip the tutorial. We don't really need it. Land management, buy land. We're going to buy this brewery, knock it on down. Let's generate some packages. Hey look, there's a package right there. So one thing I'm noticing here is this red text is, at least for me against this background, kind of difficult to read. It feels like our tooltip needs to be a little bit deeper in its coloration, or to be more precise, it needs to be a little bit less transparent. Let's try it at 200, so that it's still a little transparent, but it's mostly black. Okay, that's fine. The red is still hard for me to read against the black. I'm colorblind though, so that might be a thing. We may want to consider a different color. I do find that quite difficult to read. Yeah. And then the fact that the origin is there and everything else isn't. I mean, the order of it is kind of weird. So that's something to consider as well. And the question then becomes, what color do we want it to be, if not red? Well, we could, theoretically, just give this font like an outline. Like if we give it, say, a white outline, that might be a little bit easier to read, or that might make it way, way, way worse. We'll find out. So you can see it looks kind of a little bit bold when it's white, And when we mouse over here, that doesn't really help. Good to know. It just kind of makes the red text look a little bit more pink, I guess? Maybe an underlay would do the trick. We'll try it. Okay, not of that color, for sure. Maybe if we make the underlay be white? That makes it look like blinding when it's white text. And again, it makes it just kind of pink-ish. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to have to go for a different color other than red. And ultimately, I don't know what color that is quite yet. We may have to define one, but let me pull up the TextMesh Pro documentation. And let's just see if I can figure out a slightly different color. Yeah, we can use HTML notation, or we can use the color names, which are black, blue, green, orange, purple, red, white, and yellow. Yellow might work, actually. Yellow might work well. Let's go into the parcel graphics and test how the yellow works. Color equals yellow. Oops. Color equals yellow. There we go. So, with that being the case, I think we'll be able to read that a lot better. But if it's not been sorted, I kind of feel like the origin should go after the distance, so that it's not got the one thing that we do know in the sea of things that we don't. And if that's the case, should we just omit the origin? We could just omit the origin. Ultimately, we don't really care about that. What we care about is the destination and the distance. Which, of course, for the distance, the script needs to know the origin. But as a player, we don't care about that. So let's go ahead and run that with that change, so that those are now yellow, and we're omitting the origin, and we'll just see how that feels. I also don't... I didn't really examine what the height looks like in the last one, so I don't actually know if the height is good or not. We'll see how that feels too. So let's go ahead and run this one more time. Come on, go ahead and generate. You can do it. Also, I don't know why Windows 10 always does that. It shows the last song and then the next one, or the current one. It's kind of weird. It should show, in my opinion, just the one it switches to. It's like it shows the previous notification and then the next one, and it always shows them in groups of 2. I don't know, it's really weird. Okay, it doesn't really matter where we start this. We're just gonna come on in here and... Did I just buy a road hex? I bought a road hex. Whatever. Close enough. Did we not spawn anything? That's exciting. We haven't spawned anything yet. Now we're spawning things. Okay. Ooh, look at that. There's a shipping container coming out of this plant. And yeah, I'm looking at this and I feel like it can indeed be lower. Because, I mean, we can see that it's here. And actually, this parcel doesn't have anything else in it. Format exception. Index 0 based. Must be greater than or equal to 0 and less than the size of the argument list. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I wonder why that's happening. Was that happening with the shipping container too? Yep, it is. Okay. So what line is that happening on? Line 1925 of string, but line 36 of parcel graphics. So line 36 here. This. Well, that's bizarre. Did I mess something up here? Oh, I did mess something up here. We now only have, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. It's because we have one too many arguments in here. That's the problem. Okay, there's that fixed. Now, I feel like... Let's... Come on, go ahead and compile it. We're going to have to stop running this anyway. But I just want to check really fast here. No, I don't want to rename it. I want to find it. And I just want to look at this. Well, we'll look at this shipping container. And the question is, should we lower this any further? So that's currently there. I feel like if we lower it even further, we're fine. Like, cut it in half again. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's go to our parcel manager and have this be times 0.1f. Okay, there we go. Now it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to make sure that these generations are working properly. And then, I don't know exactly what we're going to do yet. If we're going to tackle that... coming up with a better way to represent int3 coordinates, that feels like something we should do later, so maybe we'll start implementing actual vehicles. Subscribe for more, and I will see you all next time.